Hey, how's it going on, nerds, and welcome back to the channel that I swear doesn't cause you to lose brain cells. It's the DD channel. Now, in this video, I want to cut all the chitty chat. You read the title, I know that you know that I know that you read the title. Otherwise, why would you be here? So yeah, congratulations. The long-awaited, highly requested DD Muscle Anatomy video is finally out, and you are currently watching it. Apologies to those of you who have had to put off having kids, going to college, buying a house and whatnot because you didn't feel ready to do all those things until you saw my anatomy video. So again, congratulations to you all. Your prayers have been answered. You can now resume your lives after you've watched this video. Jokes aside, if you're a usual regular degular on the DD channel, you know I already made a basic full body anatomy video, emphasis on basic. So yeah, those of you who haven't seen it, I recommend you check that out because it'll probably make the content of this here video that you gaze upon a little easier to swallow or digest. That being said, I don't want to waste time on a ridiculous and nonsensically long intro. Some of you might be wondering, what will this video entail? What will we do in this video? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how I, DD Mark, as a comic and manga artist, personally draw the male torso muscle anatomy. Yes, male muscle anatomy, not female. And yes, this is how I personally do things. It's not the industry standard, and I can't say for sure it's the air quote right way of doing things. If you want that, go watch a David Finch video or something like that. But yeah, if this video does well, I will make another tutorial for female muscle anatomy. Anyways, I'm going to be showing you how I draw the male torso muscle anatomy from the front and the side, and I'll explain it as easily as I can by first going over the simple shapes in general and then the simple shapes with the actual main muscles and how they connect to one another. So yeah, let's not dilly-dally, let's jump right into this. Whoa, look at me, I'm a virtual avatar today. You might as well call me DD Iron Mouse. It looks nice, doesn't it? This 3D avatar is made by Wondershare DemoCreator, the sponsor for this video. Now, if I had a penny for the number of times people have asked me how I record my drawing footage, or the number of times people have asked me for advice about getting started with YouTube but they have no idea how to capture the screen and drawing footage, I would have a lot of pennies. So yeah, here you go, art nerds. DemoCreator is a program that not only allows you to record your footage on your screen, but it also has 3D models. So you know what that means? Some of you can finally get to live out your VTuber fantasy. So all you aspiring YouTubers, Twitch streamers, gamers, or whoever wants to show your tutorial content, DemoCreator might just be what you're looking for. Not only is it a really good screen recorder with a real-time screen drawing feature, but it's also got webcam capture, microphone sound capture, fast exporting annotation, it's got a really good video and audio editing software built in, and so much more. As you can see, we are now at the DemoCreator studio where you can do your basic screen recording. You can also pick your 3D avatars right here as well, and there's a lot of variety in avatars you can choose from. Like, see, you can be this beautiful black man here, or this lady with the adorable glasses. The choice is yours. All you need to do is connect your webcam and the avatars are really easy to use. But yeah, here are the controls for a lot of what you'll be doing. That button right there starts the recording, and you can even switch scenes like this. So after you record your footage, you can either export it as is, or you can open it and edit it with the built-in video and audio editor. The video editor is super beginner friendly, and it's got lots of good effects and cool transitions as well, so your content can be of the highest quality. I highly recommend you give DemoCreator a try. Matter of fact, why aren't you using it now? Didn't you hear? All the cool kids are using DemoCreator. You don't want to get left behind, do you? So yeah, go try out DemoCreator. It's free to use. The link is in the description down below. And thank you, Wondershare, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so male torso muscle anatomy. First things first, as I always say when it comes to drawing anything anatomy related, it's important to have at least a basic to intermediate understanding of the drawing fundamentals, because without knowing how to do basic things like draw 3D shapes with proper forms, you shouldn't even be getting ahead of yourself trying to draw a human, in my opinion. Watch these two videos of mine to get you started on what those basics you'll need are. But yeah, now that I've said that, let me introduce you to the basic shapes you'll need to start off with. First off, you're gonna need this shape right here that's shaped sort of like a human ribcage. Like I said, watching my basic anatomy video makes this step of laying out the simple shapes easy. So yeah, you'll need this ribcage-esque shape, and then you'll need this shape right here that looks like 3D underwear, or panties. I still hate that word. And then what you do is lay the first shape down and then the second underneath it. You can already notice that the one on top is going to be the upper chest cavity, and the one at the bottom pretty much represents your hip bone. Next, draw a center line from the top ribcage shape down the middle to the end of the hip or panty shape, and follow the forms of the two shapes when you draw that center line. This center line will prove useful as it will help you keep things proportional and will even help you later down the line when you want to add the muscles and abs and stuff. So yeah, after drawing a line down the middle, connect the two shapes with lines, and you can see that the space in between the two shapes connected by the lines is going to be the stomach. Okay, now that we've laid out the simple bare bones shapes of the male torso from the front angle, it's now time to add the simple shapes of the main muscles and body parts that make up the male torso. These main muscles and parts include the chest, the deltoid, the neck, the arms, the obliques, and even the abs. Okay, so when we have these bare bones shapes that we already have laid out, I like to start with placing the neck first, as the position of the neck will then help me determine where, or better yet, how high or low the chest and shoulders will rest on this torso. So first, I put a line right here indicating where the two clavicles would be. And using that center line, we can determine where to center the stubby cylinder shape that will make the neck. From the center line that we drew in the first step, where our hypothetical clavicle meets this center line is where I know the two sternocleidomastoids that are on your neck meet. So they go from behind your ears and meet in that intersection of the center line and the clavicle line, sort of. That intersection would be the jugular notch right above the manubrium that sits above your sternum. FYI, you don't need to know all these anatomical names. I just happen to because I took a 400 level anatomy course for my biology degree in college. And yes, that was a subtle flex. Anyways, now that we pretty much have the neck and clavicle positions, we can use that to determine where the deltoid, aka the shoulder, would sit. So for the deltoid slash shoulder, if you remember from watching my basic anatomy video, it's in the shape of an upside down teardrop kinda. So I want you to cut that initial 3D ribcage shape like so and place the teardrop shaped deltoid right on there, and do that for the other side as well. As you can see, the torso is starting to come together. Next up, add two cylinders underneath the teardrop because that's where the arms fall, but I will not be covering the muscles in the arm today because that's a separate video on its own. So yeah, for now, our arms will just be a cylinder. Next up is the chest muscles. For the chest, use the line already used for the center line, the clavicle, and the one side of the deltoid to form the shape of the chest, if that makes sense. Then just add the remaining lines to form the shape of the chest. I like to think of the shape of the chest as half of a hexagon, so make sure to have two half hexagons on the two sides of the center line that parts the chest. Also keep in mind that the chest ends slightly before that concave shape on the ribs, so leave a little space between the bottom of the chest muscle and the concave shape of the ribs, if you know what I mean. Another thing to keep in mind with the chest is, yes, although you form the chest muscle with that shape of half of a hexagon using the deltoid muscle, know and remember that the chest muscle connects to the deltoid like this, sort of like tucking into the armpit, but not really. So the trio of the deltoid, the chest muscle, and the bicep will follow as deltoid first on top of the chest and arms, then chest second under the deltoid but over the arm, and arm third under both the deltoid and chest muscle. I hope that makes sense. For the abs, you want to have three lines, and one of those lines is the center line. So basically, draw a line on each side of the pectoral muscle, aka the chest muscle, or each half of the center line, as you've seen me do on the screen right now. Next, add two dots or lines to keep in mind where the oblique muscles will go. So like, you know, that douchey V-cut thing that muscle guys have? Yeah, that line would cut through that spot that you've marked down into the crotch area, like so. Next up, draw the latimus dorsi, aka the lats, like this here, as the lats are visible from the front. Then, after you do that, draw four lines like this to indicate the serratus anterior, or as I like to call them raggedy side muscle thingies. Then also, draw four lines that connect to it like this, as these are the obliques and they contribute to that douchey fit guy V-cut thing I mentioned earlier. And lastly, for the abs, add lines on each side of that center line, continuing those four oblique lines that we already drew. And make sure that the line you draw for the abs go up in ever so slight an angle, like so. And there you go, that's the male torso from the front view. Now for the side view, you can just watch a time lapse of me doing it, as when you understand 3D shapes and how to draw them in any angle with their forms and all, you kind of have a camera in your head where you can kind of move that camera to look at any object you've drawn and see it from whatever angle. And as I said earlier, you understanding how to draw 3D shapes should be at a level where you can do this already. But as you watch the time lapse, I will say some things that might not be so obvious. So as you see me drawing the torso from the side, you'll see that those initial shapes of the ribcage and the pelvis don't sit or stand up straight. And that's pretty much the line of action on it is bent. That is because humans don't really stand up straight and still. There's usually a slight curve or bend. Also remember, even from the side, it's still deltoid first or on top, chest underneath, and biceps slash triceps or the upper arm right below that. Also, when drawing the abs from the side, it goes inwards because of that concave from the ribs, then outwards, then inwards again. I don't know, I guess the slight bump it makes might be because of all them organs in there. Also notice the lats and how they look from the side and how they're able to show from the front. I won't do back muscles in this video because again, that's a separate video that I want to save for another time. And there you go, that's the male torso from the side. Now enjoy this short time lapse of me drawing the torso, doing all sorts of stuff. And yeah, with that done, right now on the screen, you can see how I draw a torso and how I would sort of hatch it if it were the final thing. All the muscle striations and shading and all that stuff that you can see, you can learn by watching a more advanced tutorial, but I won't go over it in this one because this is a basic tutorial for beginners. Or if you don't want to watch a tutorial, you can use reference photos from Google or Pinterest like I personally did to learn how to draw the torso in the first place. And yeah, there you go. Merry New Year. Thank you all for watching this video. I truly appreciate it if you made it all the way to the end. You must walk funny because you built different. L joke. Anyways, shout out to my patrons for supporting this video. I truly appreciate them. They make it so I can afford to pay my cat's tuition every semester. If you yourself want to join the Patreon and get my videos early, FYI, my patrons probably got this video that you're watching a few days, if not a week early. So yeah, if you want early access and so much more, the link to my Patreon is in the description down below. And yeah, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel because that gives me a reason to live. And lastly, don't forget to leave a comment because I read all and respond to most comments. Till next time, art nerds, it is I, Diddy. Don't stop me now, and peace and love, baby.